What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTI. Now, since the GTI was refreshed in 2022, here in 2024, we don't have a ton of significant changes, although there is one big one. The 2024 is the last model year that you're going to be able to get the 6-speed manual transmission. So if you absolutely love having your third pedal, definitely pick up a 2024, otherwise you're just not going to be able to get it anymore. You have two options, the 6-speed manual, as I mentioned, and then a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Also, since they are getting rid of the manual transmission, they're coming out with a special GTI 380 package. That's not here on this one that we're looking at. This is the 7-speed dual clutch automatic, but if you do pick up one that has the GTI 380 package, you'll get a unique graphite gray color, as well as black painted wheels and an adaptive suspension system. But let's just go ahead and take a look at everything we have here on this model. So since it is the GTI, you'll have some GTI specific badging and accents. So you've got the little GTI word mark here with this red trim that runs on top of the LED light bar that we have that runs across the front of the vehicle. You have a full LED lighting system up here, LED high beams, LED standard beams, LED DRLs, you have LED fog lights and LED tail lights as well. And your fog lights are in this really unique little kind of hexagonal style layout. Then you have parking sensors dotted around this whole hexagonal type grille down below. A little bit of a lip at the bottom, body colored split, big Volkswagen badge in the middle, and like I mentioned, that LED light bar that runs across the front. Now, under the hood of every single GTI, you're gonna have the same 2.0 liter turbocharged engine. That's gonna give you 241 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. That's up 13 horsepower and 15 pound-feet of torque from the previous generation model. And it's gonna give you 33 miles per gallon highway, 24 miles per gallon city. You also have a few other performance features here on the GTI Autobahn. You've got the front wheel drive with drive mode selection. You've got a VAQ limited slip front differential lock, variable ratio electromechanical power steering, 4-wheel independent sport suspension, multi-mode DCC with adaptive chassis control, and vented front and rear disc brakes. Moving on back, you have a parking sensor here and a reflector, a little bit of cladding right over the top of the wheel here, and then you have these 19-inch two-tone alloy wheels, really nicely designed wheels with these summer tires. You also have red brake calipers right past that, and you have vented front and rear disc brakes. GTI badging here on the side with the nice black and red accents. These side mirrors here are body colored. They've got integrated turn signals built in. They're heated, power folding, and they have puddle lighting up underneath as well. Keyless access on the door panel, so you can see those power folding mirrors here. Fold right up for you. You can put your hand inside to unlock, and those will unfold. Up top, you have a power tilting and sliding panoramic sunroof. Not a lot of super aggressive body lines. You have one singular line that runs all across the sides and then onto the hood as well. And then a little bit of a, a split scoop there, but just not a lot of super aggressive accents outside of that GTI specific front grille, which again, looks really nice. All right, so moving to the back of the GTI here, as I mentioned, you do have LED tail lights here. Not a lot of sculpting to them, but they're nice looking tail lights for sure. A little bit of a rear body colored spoiler with a brake light up top, rear glass here that is heated. You have a wiper, Volkswagen badge here that doubles as your handle for your liftgate, as well as where your rear view camera is hidden. GTI badging right in the center there, and then really nothing else. You don't have any excess badging anywhere. It's a super clean back end. I'm a really big fan of this, actually. I don't like when there's just badges everywhere. I like simplicity, and the GTI does it really well with just the Volkswagen badge and the GTI badging here. You have some parking sensors dotted around, some reflectors, split exhaust tips here, and these things sound awesome. Take a listen. But if we go ahead and open up the liftgate here, you can see you've got a cargo shade right here. You've got my camera box, as always. You have all of your Volkswagen cargo protection system features back here. You have your cloth mats here, which have some red accent stitching on them. And then you also have your monster mats that have red GTI badging on the side there. That looks awesome. Up underneath, you do have a full-size spare tire right here, as well as your Harman Kardon sound system and all your tools that you need. And there's plenty of extra cargo space back here if you need to tuck little things hidden up underneath here. No problem there. Cargo hooks as well. You have a pass-through for larger objects, and you have 60/40 split folding back seats. So plenty of cargo space. I'll have all dimensions on screen for your standard cargo capacity. And then if you drop those second row seats, you get a little bit more, which is always nice. But let's go ahead and hop inside. All right. right, so hopping inside the beautiful cabin here of the 2024 GTI, you've got a lot of really nice sporty accents throughout, some really nice textures that I am a big fan of and some that I am not a big fan of. One thing I do love is the seating surfaces, and we'll get to that in just a sec. But we'll start over here on the door panels. You've got a mix of like some nicer materials, but some not so nice materials. And really this door panel, even on the driver's side, is not made of the nicest materials here. So you have a kind of a hard touch rubber up top. It's got a little bit of squish to it, but not a whole lot. No kind of leather with accent trim or anything like that. Then you just have this plastic piece that is very smooth, but it has a design on it, like a little hexagonal design. Then you have more black plastic right here. Then once you get down here, you have a leatherette on the door handles as well, and then just some hard black plastic. And then from there on down, it is all black plastic. And that same theme carries on throughout the whole cabin. Everything from the vents down, which are about, belly height down, all black plastic. So, and then up top, you don't have a lot of other things. You have soft touch rubber up top, then you have some of that plastic with the little textured bit that I mentioned, and that's really about it. Everything on the center console is piano black plastic, which I hate, and the reason is, and you can see it right here, it is covered in fingerprints, and I haven't even been in here for like 20 minutes. It's terrible. And it was here when I got in the car. It's just everywhere. You can't avoid it. It's impossible. And they put it on all the high traffic areas, which makes no sense to me. But there it is. Now, the steering wheel is nice. It is a leather wrapped heated steering wheel with red contrast stitching on it. And you have some grips on the sides that are perforated and textured a little bit. So they're, more sporty. It is a kind of a flat bottom style steering wheel with a lot of kind of contours and creases. It feels really aggressive and sporty. You have touch capacitive buttons on the left side for your adaptive cruise control, as well as your media controls on the right side and your heated steering wheel. Textured horn bit, Volkswagen badge in the center, a little bit of a satin accent, and then more red accents with your GTI badging in the center. I really like the steering wheel, looks really good. You have your little pad for your automatic lighting controls and your dynamic lighting and your defoggers there, as well as your fog lights. And then past the steering wheel, you have a 10.3-inch gauge cluster, their digital cockpit. You can see all your different vehicle information. You can change views, you can do full screen navigation, you can see your adaptive systems. All that kind of stuff is nice and easy to see on that display. You also do have a heads-up display past that up here on the Autobahn trim. And then you have an auto-dimming rearview mirror with HomeLink garage door controls and a compass, dome lights that you can touch here, and they have a lot of other functionality. Check out my secret features video for that. Your controls for your panoramic sunroof, you can move the shade back manually and then slide by swiping here. And it's gonna go ahead and open right up for you. But if we move back down, you have a 10-inch infotainment display. And this is Volkswagen's most up-to-date infotainment display as well. Newest graphics package. You've got all your different, customizable ambient lighting and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, navigation, HD rear camera with all of your settings. You've got your on-screen climate control, different drive modes. You've got your heated seat controls. Everything is on this display, and it all works really well. The only big downside is that you do have touch capacitive sliders for controlling things like your temperature. The good news is it's going away. So I've kind of been preaching for a while now that I think touch capacitive buttons are what all these manufacturers are going to have in the future. And it seems like Volkswagen is saying, we hear you, that most people, not myself included, but most people don't like touch capacitive buttons. So we're going back to physical buttons. So they've already confirmed that they are going to be putting physical buttons back in their vehicles in upcoming models. So if you really hate the touch capacitive buttons, maybe hold off, wait a couple of years, and then maybe we'll get rid of some of those for people that don't like them. But you do have more of those down below, right between these two vents here for your assist systems, your on-screen climate control, your flashers, your driving mode, and your park assist menu. Now for your climate system, you have a Climatronic Touch 3-zone climate control system here, so individually adjustable driver, passenger, and rear passenger, which is awesome. You don't always get that in this size hatchback at this price point. Now down past that, you do have a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad for compatible devices. You have 2 USB-C ports for charging right there. Then all of this piano black plastic that I mentioned push to start engine button, and then you have a shift by wire system if you get the 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. If you get the 6-speed manual, you'll obviously have a physical shift knob so that you can change gears manually. A button here to push for park, and then a toggle for reverse, neutral, drive, and sport, and then a toggle here for your electronic parking brake. You do have a little pocket here which can fit almost nothing except for maybe a chapstick in the side here, but it is very long. I don't know why they do stuff like that. I never understand it. Either make it practical or get rid of it. Makes no sense. Then you have the little cup holder area down here. You have two cup holders, really. One is kind of customizable where you can put larger objects in, and then you can push this button and it will pop out to give you a more compact cup holder. And then you have a 12-volt outlet right here as well. Under your little armrest here in your center console, you have a very shallow, small pocket, but it is nice extra storage. And then you do have a standard glove box over here as well. Now, as far as these seating surfaces go, these are a Vienna leather seating surface. They're these front sport bucket seats with integrated headrests here. As you can kind of tell, they're not separate there. They're kind of a three-tone seat. So you have gray up top, black down the center, black on the sides, and then on the back you also have more red leather accents as well. And then you have contrast stitching throughout. So red contrast stitching here, gray contrast stitching here, some red piping on the sides. You have your red GTI badge right under the headrest here. They're really intricate and nicely designed seating surface. I really like them. Like I said, they are perforated, so you're heated and ventilated for driver's seats, heated for your outboard rear passenger seats. The driver is a power adjustable seat with position memory. The passenger is a manually adjustable seat, but you do have power recline. A couple of the other specific GTI accents on the interior are that black headliner, the GTI red accents, so you have the trim on the center console, the trim around the steering wheel, and then you also have stainless steel pedal caps, which are specific to the GTI. And then of course the top trim GTI is going to have the full suite of IQ Drive safety systems. So of course you have travel assist, which is one of my favorite semi-automated driving assistants. You have adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane assist, emergency assist, front assist, pedestrian and cyclist monitoring, active blind spot monitoring, and rear traffic alert. All of those kind of things you'd expect to have. All right, so hopping here into the back seats. One thing that you're gonna notice in the newer GTIs is that the entire length of the vehicle has grown by 1 inch. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a big difference. Also, that 0.6 inches of additional wheelbase that we gained makes a big difference in the cargo carrying capability as well as the second row seat space. And you're definitely gonna notice that back here in the back seats. So I had this seat pretty far back. You know, I would scoot it a little bit more if I was actually driving, but you can see I've got 2.5, maybe 3 inches of rear leg room here. You can tuck your feet up underneath for additional space. You've got plenty of kind of shoulder room as well. The roof scoops up as well, so you get a ton of headroom. It's just a really nice, roomy back seat. In front of me here, I've got 2 pockets that are a little bit smaller, and then you have 1 larger pocket down below. And the back seats kind of arc a little bit, so if they were completely flat, you might have less legroom, but since they have that kind of dip in them, it gives you that little bit of extra knee space. Now, as far as materials, it goes pretty far downhill here. Plastic here, plastic here, plastic here, plastic here. It's just all the way down. You do have a little speaker here, some handles, some hooks, but not a whole lot going on. You do have rear vents, like I mentioned, with that dedicated climate control for back here, and then heated outboard seats as well. You do have this center part that folds down, 2 cup holders here, and then again, you have that pass through here. So if you wanna store larger objects or carry larger objects, you can without putting all of your seats down. 2 adults back here, absolutely fine. 3 adults is gonna be actually pretty difficult. This transmission hump is very large. If I were to hop over to this middle seat and I would put my feet on the transmission hump, you can see how tall it is. So I think for 3 adults, this is almost a no-go. 3 kids probably can make it work, but 2 adults is gonna be most comfortable, 2 kids is gonna be most comfortable. All right, let's take the GTI here for a little test drive. I really wanted to point out, I love this design of the digital display here. I love the little kind of honeycomb look to it. Super cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing going. Now, I've been driving it around a little bit, and it is definitely quick. I mean, that 241 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque are no joke, especially in a vehicle that is this small. It really helps you get going. And I really like how they've combined the technology aspect with some of the IQ Drive systems, IQ Light systems, with the power that you get in this 2.0 liter turbo in this small of a vehicle. So now I did a review on the Golf R, and I talked about how I think the GTI is actually a better value than the Golf R you know, for a lot of reasons. You don't get that much more on the Golf R than you get here on the GTI. And the GTI here, this one's at 42, almost 43. I think you get a really nice mix of some really nice seating surfaces, some great technology packages, obviously your travel assist, which we can go ahead and turn on right now. Set that. You just get such a nice mix of power and technology. Outside of some minimal cabin material quality, I think overall it looks really good on the inside. I like that accent a lot. I love, obviously, the displays and the accent stitching on the steering wheel and the red trim. I'm a big fan of black and red combos anyway, but I think it looks really, really nice. Things that I don't like are this little tiny pocket window here that is a really bad blind spot there because you can't see out of that pocket window at all. I don't like all the piano black plastic here. I think it's a fingerprint and dust magnet, and that's unfortunate. I don't love some of the cabin materials, especially once you get a little bit lower. I think that they could have done a little bit better there, and even some of the stuff up top I feel it could have been a little bit more premium for this price point, but you cannot deny that this is a fun vehicle to drive. That is just absolutely undeniable. And with the safety and the technology, I mean, listen to that thing go. With the safety and the technology packages, you really can't beat it, in my opinion. But let's let Travel Assist do its thing again for a sec. You can see this car in front of me. It's gonna keep me preset distance away. You can kind of see that on the HUD there, as well as here on the display. And let's see how well it does taking me around this curve up here. Wow, very nice. That's awesome. Good stuff. I love Travel Assist. But yeah, other than that weird pocket window there, the visibility of the front glass is great. Visibility out the rear could be a little bit better as well. That back window is a little small, but I would love to have a rear view mirror camera option. That would be awesome. But I love this infotainment system especially. Volkswagen's done a good job with this. Except for the cabin materials, including this piano black plastic and the weird visibility in a couple spots, I absolutely love the 2024 GTI. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Drop a like in the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think about the 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTR? Are you gonna pick one up? Are you gonna grab one of the last 6-speed manual options here on the GTI? Let's have a conversation down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.